So this is the follow-up video to a video I uploaded 10 days or 2 weeks ago about blueface, getting into it with Senegalese American dye, about racism and colorism. Blueface not really understanding what racism is actually, and then at the end telling her that she's so dark, she's dumb, and kicking her out of his car on the highway or nearby a highway. So another dark-skinned black woman has decided that it was a good idea for her to apologize in the name of dark-skinned black women. Well, she didn't say she's apologizing in the name of us all, but she apologized as a dark-skinned woman. I'm about to show y'all. And she said that colorism didn't exist because it never stopped her from getting anywhere. And she proceeded to say, well, I'm standing right here, you know, next to blueface, like you guys, I'm so sorry. I'm trying, apologies. I'm really trying to keep a straight face, but what she means by colorism never stopping her from getting anywhere is that colorism got her next to blueface. Women beating, jailbird, disgusting, blueface. Whatever, let me just show you all first of all, and then I'll tell you what I think about this all debacle. She later made another video that she deleted by now because she was getting so much pushback on it on TikTok about how yes, colorism exists, but we never talk about how light-skinned women hair is being pulled in primary school by dark-skinned women, etc, etc, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. But like I said, let's just proceed step by step. Y'all know I have ADHD, so yeah. First of all, let me just show you when she saw blueface and was apologizing to him as a dark-skinned woman. Did y'all see his face? I'll show you his face again. I have to screenshot it. Look at his face, y'all. Y'all saw her face and y'all saw his face. Like, she's so excited. Like, she's like a child on Christmas Eve, okay? And him, oh well, y'all saw his face. So the second-hand embarrassment I'm feeling right now, you guys, is strong, okay? I'm not even gonna lie. I'm feeling very, very, very extremely strong second-hand embarrassment as a dark-skinned woman. Like she says, I'm feeling very embarrassed. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie, but the fact that she's saying that colorism doesn't exist because it never stopped her from getting anything. Now let's just disregard the fact that by getting somewhere or getting places or getting things, she's talking about getting next to blueface. Let's just disregard that for a minute and get into that talking point, which is a false equivalence and intellectually dishonest, and quite frankly it's a very weak argument, right? It's like someone saying that racism doesn't exist because Oprah Winfrey is a billionaire. Like, the fact that Oprah Winfrey is a billionaire doesn't mean that racism doesn't exist. Because some people are able to beat the odds doesn't mean that there isn't a system in place in order to stop certain people, certain demographics from getting into certain spaces. So it's a very, very weak argument, and it reminded me of what Blueface and Dye got into it on to begin with, which was whether racism is something that black people are capable of or not. And you know, dumbass Blueface was saying that black people are capable of being racist, which they're not. Now, we can be xenophobic, okay? You often hear black people say that you can come to the cookout, for example, right? That is an example of black people, I guess, being xenophobic. You know, it's lighthearted, but whatever, right? But we don't collectively as black people have the power to oppress white people, so we cannot be racist, okay? We don't have a system that we can put in place that can keep them from certain spaces, so we cannot collectively be racist, okay? So this girl, whatever her name is, coming and apologizing to Blueface and saying she understands. What do you understand, babe? What exactly? Girl, listen. If you don't get out of his face, because clearly he's over you. And you know, he gave her a compliment and tell her that she was a sweet brown skin girl, which made her so happy. She was giggling and all, but she didn't notice that he only gave her that compliment after she sided with him, after she said that she was apologizing as a dark skinned woman. But I want you to note how back when he met Ndai, and you can go back and watch the other video if you want to see that, he immediately complimented her on her looks, right? The moment he saw her, he was like, girl, you're gorgeous, right? This is the good brown skin, he said. But you know, later on he explained that what he meant by that is that, you know, she was pretty, right? So that was his knee-jerk reaction to seeing her, whereas here she has to, you know, side with him and apologize in the name of dark-skinned women and and cuddle his ego, and then he's giving her this compliment. Like, you know, it's like you have a pet and they do what you want them to do, and then you give them a treat. Okay, I'm sorry for using that example, but y'all know what I mean. Now, after all of this, after the debacle, you know, people were in her comments on TikTok putting on the clown emoji as they should, and then she released another video which she by now deleted. Unfortunately, I wish I could show it to you all, but she did delete it because she was getting a lot of pushback on it. As you can see, she deleted the video. Okay, so she deleted the video. I'm going to try and see if I can find it elsewhere, but the video was saying something along the line of colorism exists, but we never talk about how it affects light-skinned women, that, you know, light-skinned women hair is being pulled in primary school, that they're getting hate for having long hair and being light skinned. She also said how when she was apologizing, she didn't apologize in the name of all dark-skinned black women, that she was only apologizing on her name, which I thought was gaslighting. Because honestly, if you're apologizing on your name, then why don't you say as Mary or as Janet, I'm apologizing? Like, which, first of all, why are you even apologizing on the name of another woman who didn't ask you to apologize for her? Because Ndai came out on TikTok and said that if she had one regret and one regret only, is that she shouldn't even have been around him to begin with. So she's not sorry. So what gives you the right to apologize in her name? That's first of all. And second of all, again, even if you wanted to apologize, which doesn't make sense, why didn't you apologize in the name of Mary or Janet, or I really don't know her name, you guys, Sophie, I don't know, whatever her name is, right? But why do you say as a dark-skinned woman? Because when you say as a dark-skinned woman, you are somehow, you know, involving the collective. Even if you didn't say I'm apologizing in the name of all dark-skinned black women, still, you know what you're doing. Because when you say as a dark-skinned woman, you are kind of involving the rest of us, even though we don't want you to speak on our name. Okay, I definitely don't want you to speak in my name. Okay, so that's number one. And then number two, again, she proceeded to talk about how we should have more empathy for light-skinned women, that, you know, their hair is being pulled in primary school, which is true. Okay, I have said this in a video a long time ago. I think it was a video where I was addressing Exotical United. I've talked about the fact that it's very true that sometimes, you know, little light-skinned girls' hair is being pulled in kindergarten and primary school, and, you know, they're being bullied sometimes for being light-skinned. It is something that happened. But what I don't understand is, why is it our duty as dark-skinned black women to make sure that light-skinned women get a space to talk about those traumas? That is what I don't understand about her response. Like, why? And perhaps she's not very well versed about the internet and spaces, because there are actually spaces on the internet where light-skinned and mixed women discuss their childhood traumas. There's Exotical United and and all of the United, you know, there's a million United channel at this point. Light skin exoticals, this, that, and the third, brown skin exoticals. So there are a lot of spaces online, forums and stuff, where light skinned women talk about the experience growing up, the bullying that they experienced, if they did, the fact that their hair were pulled, if they had long hair. Like, there are a lot of space on the internet where women discuss these things. So it was very odd for her to say that, you know, we as dark-skinned women had to make sure that those stories could be heard. Like, even on TikTok, where she was, you know, making these videos, like, there are a lot of videos on TikTok where light-skinned women talk about growing up light-skinned, the jealousy that it enticed in little dark-skinned girls. Like, there's a lot of content like that. So I really didn't understand why, you know, she was making it seem, first of all, as if that content, you know, those stories were not out there, those voices. And then again, what bothered me even more is how she made it seem as if it was our job, our duty as dark-skinned black women to make sure that light-skinned and mixed women have a room to talk about, you know, their trauma and whatever it is they've been through as children. Like, why? Why is it our job? Why is it our duty? Like, we have enough to deal with colorism. Now, we know you're not going through that, girl. We know not you. Okay, but we, at least I, you know, we have enough on our plate with colorism. So why should we be, you know, bothering ourselves with making sure that other women have a space where they can talk about the issues? They can do that themselves. Okay, so I thought that was really odd and it didn't make sense. And obviously she got her behind lit up because she ended up deleting that video. So clearly she didn't say what she said and meant what she said. But yeah, you guys, whatever. Perhaps I shouldn't even be making these videos. You know, someone mentioned on the other video that perhaps this is what Blueface is looking for. So we shouldn't even be giving him, you know, I guess the attention that he's looking for, because, you know, attention is currency. But whatever. But I couldn't help myself because this COON, okay, I said what I said, really got on my nerves. So what do you mean you're apologizing as a dark-skinned woman? And what do you mean we as dark-skinned women have to make space for light-skinned women to talk about their childhood trauma? Like, girl, if you don't get on my face, okay, go bye. Anyways, if you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. In the comment section down below, let me know what are your thoughts on our good sis apologizing in all of our names, even though she's denying that's what she did. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel as well as becoming a member, and I will talk to you all as always tomorrow. Bye guys, thanks for watching. Mwah.